Hello everyone, and welcome to my review for Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 7, Assault. I feel like I don't have a lot to say in today's review, but sometimes I say that and then I end up talking for an hour, so yeah, don't trust me. We'll see how this goes. But I think I talked a lot in the episode, in my reaction. So the reason why I say I don't think I'll have a lot to say is because so many of the things that I'm wondering about is based on me not knowing a lot. You know, from season 3 to season 4, a lot of time passed, and it's so frustrating not knowing how did it come to this. Was there anything they could have done differently? My first reaction is to say, of course, yes, there had to have been different choices. There's always different choices. Even back with the flashback we saw when Rainer and Marcel and Annie and Berthold went to Paradis, we saw Annie and Marcel think of, what, maybe we should go back, maybe we should do this. And then things happened and they ended up moving forward. But here, we haven't gotten that flashback yet. We have no idea what was Eren doing here. When did he get here? Who was on board with this plan? Did they consider any alternatives? It's so frustrating, not knowing so much. I feel like there definitely had to have been a choice. A lot of people asked, well, what could they have done differently? They didn't have a choice. You don't understand. If you were in their shoes, you would do the exact same thing. And I've already addressed those kinds of comments. So it is very difficult to talk about what they could have done differently, considering that it went from end of season 3 to here. Like, there is a time that passes and we don't know what happened. We don't know what they said to each other. There's so much we don't know. But, just because someone says punch me, or I'll go to your house and punch your little sister, that doesn't mean you have to punch them in that moment, right? So that's basically, in a very, very, very simplistic way, how I saw what Tiber did. He said, these are monsters and we should fight against them. We should eradicate them, which is of course wrong. But then they just proved him right. They showed them that they are monsters willing to kill innocent people. And I know innocent people on their side died too. But as I said in the reaction, if you justify them killing innocent people because Marley killed innocent people, well then Marley was justified too, because Eldians killed their people because they had this power. And like we learned from the history books, whether or not the history books is 100% accurate, it doesn't really matter. You shouldn't kill innocent people. We knew that it was wrong when Rainer and them did it. We knew that it's wrong that they sent those children to kill those people, and they ended up doing it twice, even after spending time with them. We knew that that was wrong. So why is it so easy for us to justify, not us, there's just many people that I saw in the comments last week. It seems so easy for you to just justify and say, oh, they deserve everything they get. Fuck Marley. Okay. That's probably the exact words that came out of Marleyan's mouths when they made this whole plan about killing Eldians in Paradis. It's ironic that people don't see that, but I don't know. So it was a difficult episode to watch, considering it seems like Armin made this plan with Eren. I don't know. That is difficult for me to fathom, because I think Armin is... I thought differently of Armin. I didn't think this would be the conclusion he came to. Like, this is the best decision to make, because... Let's go back to the example of, I'm gonna punch you. Not even I'm gonna punch you now. It was, I'm gonna go to your house and punch your family unless you punch me now. Wait. Sorry. No. What was my example? Someone is standing in front of you and they're saying, punch me now or I'll go punch your little sister. Because that's what he did. I don't know why, but Tiber planned that to happen. He planned to sacrifice himself. Obviously, if he could avoid it, he would have. But he planned to sacrifice himself to prove to the world that they really are monsters. And then Eren did. Eren proved that. But they didn't have to, because they could have, in my opinion, and this is just speculation, just like you can only speculate about whether or not they had a choice, or whether or not how things would have turned out if they did it my way. We can only speculate. I mean, I'm sure there's many ways, but they could have, I don't know, sniped Tiber alone, like kill him or kill big heads in charge, instead of, just sacrificing all those innocent lives. I know they even had all the Titans with them. Like, they trapped those two in a hole. You can't throw sleeping gas down there and take them away and eat them somewhere. You can't. That was not an option. That in alone would have been amazing. And then, like do that. He had the Reiner down there with him. Could have knocked. That guy was ready to kill me now. Could have taken Reiner. Then they had 3 more Titans on their side. Lived quietly in the night. They declared war, yes. But just because someone says, I'm gonna fight you, you don't have to fight them right then and there and start swinging regardless of who you hit. So they could have taken the 3. They had that already. Those 2 were trapped in that hole. Reiner was submissive. It was the kill me. They had 3. That alone was enough. Go. Then, I don't know, wait until the war starts. It's not like you've been watching them clearly. They're not just gonna teleport to your homeland and then start fucking things up there. Now. You can meet them at the before somewhere. Like there has to be a war battleground, right? Meet them halfway. I don't know. You don't have to bring the fight to them. Oh, but they brought the fight to us beforehand, before we even knew. Yes, and that was wrong. They justified it by saying, well, Eldians did this and that in the past, and that was wrong. But so you can't just keep perpetuating wrong things and act like it's not wrong. That's the only thing if you feel like, well, I'm gonna stand by them no matter what, fine. But don't act like it's not wrong. Don't act like there's nothing wrong with it, at least, This is a terrible thing to do. Acknowledge that at least and say, but I'll stand by them anyway. I don't know. I think that would just be better than saying something like, fuck Marley and anyone on that continent. The world is a better place every time one of them die. But okay. I can't control what you say. I'm just saying. That's just an interesting way of thinking. And I think it's so funny because if you were those innocent people there, it's different when it's people who are willingly taking part in a war. But to think that the world is a better place every time one of them dies. So that sounds to me like you saw that kid lying on the ground there bleeding to death, rocks on top of him, and you're like, well, the world is a better place now because of that. Because some other Marlians did some bad things. And there's so many examples of this that I posted some examples in my notes if you guys want to go take a look. But honestly, I was shocked. I was really, really shocked by the comments last week. I mean, I was used to the way Attack on Titan people were in general. But last week was something else. So let's quickly, that being said, that is just one example of what I think they could have done differently. You can now, of course, make an argument, oh, but that wouldn't have worked because this and this and this. Which is also just speculation, just like mine is speculation. But the important thing I feel is just to acknowledge that they had a choice. They had other choices. They didn't have to sacrifice thousands of innocent lives. Let's quickly score the episode and then, or shall we briefly go through things? Oof, I don't even know. It was just horror upon horror upon horror. This was war. They did so well, I think. I mean, I honestly think they could have done worse. They could have dragged out some things to really make us understand the pain and the destruction going on. But it's still in terms of how did they represent war? I mean, a 9 out of 10. It was brilliant. Do I think they could have gone even further in? Yes. They could have made it even worse. But I think there's a limit probably to how much you can show on TV, right? So probably they weren't allowed to do some things that they might have thought of doing. But I would like to read the manga to see how the mangaka showed all these scenes. You know, it must look very different. So I am going to read the manga one day. I don't even know where to begin, but story. Like I said, 9 out of 10. I think it's as dark as they could have gone. But to be honest, a part of me wants it to be so ugly that the people who said they want this war regrets it. You know, I mean, the viewers, oh yeah, war, woohoo. I want it to be so ugly that those people think twice and say, shit, this is not what I thought it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? But that's a personal thing. Because it's an action anime. So people want action and excitement. And in terms of the story, it is that. You have people zooming around and Levi slashing the Beast Titan and all of that. It's very exciting and action and whatever. But part of me just wanted it to go even darker. It was already, you know, to see Pick and Eren tearing off that guy's arms. It was already dark, as if. Why am I saying as if? Like I didn't say holy fuck 10 times in the reaction. I don't know. But sometimes it's easier to say holy fuck when you feel holy fuck than just saying in conversation holy fuck. But anyway, I know not everyone likes swearing, but I do. I don't, or not that I like swearing, but I don't really care. Maybe I should get the other words. Holy moly. No, you see, it doesn't work. So that is my opinion on the story. I think it was near perfect, but personally I wanted it to go even further, even make it even worse, even though it was already very bad. Characters, I feel conflicted about scoring characters in this episode because I feel like I don't know why Armin. Why did this happen? How did you come to this? Why Eren? How did you come to this? I kind of want to see that descent into, or the progression or regression from how they were at the end of season 3 versus who they became. So it's very difficult for me to score characters because that is something that is so important to me, and you can't tell. It's just that and then this. Oh my goodness. Wow. But in terms of Reiner's character, in terms of Falco, Gabi, seeing a lot of characters, you know, that I love. Sasha, Jean, Hanj was in this episode, Levi. I mean, it's definitely, the characters are great. and I love that they're there, but this wasn't really an episode where the characters shined in terms of what I look for, which is progression or interaction between various characters. So it's a bit harder for me to score. It's very difficult for me to score, especially since I'm so disappointed, sad that to see some things. So I don't know how to score this, but I'm gonna give it a 9 because when I think of how I felt about these characters season 3 and how I feel about them now, I think that confusion is what being just distraught with my, these are characters that I love, and now I don't know, I'm at a loss for words. I think that may have been the author's intention, so I'm still gonna give it a 9 for now, for this episode. Visuals, the visuals are definitely good. I'd easily give it an 8. I wouldn't give it below an 8, but there were some times when there was one specific moment when someone was zooming through the air, and it just felt like it was moving, but the person was just a cutout that just kind of moved like that. I wish I should have written it down when it happened and the timestamp. But there were moments like that where the action scenes seem slower than any other season. Like in terms of animation, in terms of animation, so it's definitely an 8. Wait, let me just think more and talk more. The Levi versus Beast Titan scene and the Levi versus Kenny fight at the beginning of season 3, remember that? When I think of smooth animation, those are things I think of. So many, I don't know how to say this, but frames, just, it looks like, I don't know, magic. That animation can do that. That's the part of what I loved about Attack on Titan was the animation, and it's changed this season. It's not bad, it's good, but it's different, and it's not my favorite, but I still think it's very good. So I think an 8 is where I'm standing right now with regards to visuals. I do like most of the character designs. It's just that when it comes to the fighting or people zooming through the air, it somehow seems slower and not as fluid. That's the best way I can describe that. But an 8 out of 10, I think it's still very good. Okay. Audio. I think they could have used the audio maybe to, like, Gabi's voice acting, great. Falco, and a lot of it, once again, it's an easy 8. Won't be below 8. More because of Gabi's voice acting, but I'll give it a 9 actually. But I'm not giving it that 10 only because I think that her voice acting was also very good. That one moment, let's bring it back to visuals quickly. That one moment when she was blown off, they attacked, and then her people died on her back, and then she kind of flung herself forward. Oh, that was terrifying to see. So maybe an 8 is a bit low, considering, there were still moments like that. I'm going to give it an 8.4. Audio, also very good. 9 out of 10. I just think that in terms of the carnage, the pain, the people being torn apart, literally, I think they could have gone in more with the audio. Really made me want to take out because there have been times in shows where I wanted to look away or take out my earphones. Weirdly enough, not in this episode. It was very bad, but that's why I'm thinking like they could have just gone in a little bit more there, slightly. In how enjoyment, I'm not scoring enjoyment like, oh, how much fun did I have while watching this? More like how invested am I in the story at the moment. I would say 9.5. I'm more invested in the story because I can see here my scores for all these episodes is investment 9, 9, 9, 9. Okay, that's an overall 10, 9, and now 9.5. It was closer to a 10 because I'm so curious what is going on. Not only what is going to happen now, but how did it get here? What happened in that time when they weren't there? From end of season 3 to now, what happened? And I feel like I need to know. So I'm very invested. I feel very interested in knowing how these characters developed. How did it come to this? And of course, where is it going to go from here? Because these actions that they took, this choice that they made to do this, to bring the war to them, to the innocent people, just like what happened to them before. That choice that they made, and yes, it was a choice. What is going to be the repercussions of those choices? Because it's not gonna be, oh, they went happily ever after. No, it's not gonna be that. I'd like to know. It's like when you, let's say there's a punching bag or a thing, and then you punch it, and then it comes back, right? And it was standing still. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those punching bags. It was standing still, upright. This was your space. And then you punch it with full force, and it goes back, and then you're still standing in the exact same place. You didn't move closer. But then when it comes back, it's going to hit you back, If a branch is standing there and you're walking two people in a trail, right? And you bend the branch even and go duck under it and then just leave it, and it's like the branch was still before you bent it, and then you leave it, and then it like slaps the next person in their face. There's going to be a moment like that. I don't know what you call that, like repercussions is it's too light of a word. I feel like there will be a clap back, like you could consider this, yeah, lots of people consider this the clap back for what Reiner and them did in the past. The problem is that it's one thing if you do something bad to someone and then something bad happens to you, like karma, whatever. But this is not. What did all those innocent people do? You know what I'm saying? I know that it happened to innocent people in Paradis as well. And it was wrong then. That's why it's wrong now. But some people don't understand that, and it confuses me. Anyway, I don't think that you can see this is karma for what they did back then. I don't see it that way, because then I would say, oh, okay, but that was karma then for what they did. It's not karma. It's people making bad choices and doing bad, terrible things. And we should not perpetuate that. But then we do. The only people that should be held accountable for those bad decisions is the people that made the bad decisions. The people that told Reiner, go. Even if Reiner himself, because like I've explained before, even if someone is forced to do something bad, like, oh, kill 10 people, otherwise I'll kill your mother. And then they kill that person. Or 10 people. That person can't not be held accountable because of, like, you still have to, that person needs not just They need mental help after killing 10 people. And the fact that they could do that, and they need to be restrained so that to make sure that mentally they're stable. And still they took lives. They should still be held accountable because yes, their mother may have been killed, but they killed 10 people. Like, so they should still be held accountable. But so Reiner and everyone who made Reiner and the kids even to send them. Obviously, I've said this in my notes, children should be held accountable differently than adults, but they should not be held accountable. So you consider, okay, you were this age, you were, I don't know, 12 when you did this and this and this, okay? Then you were 17 when you did this and this and this, okay? And you hold them accountable based, that's where there are judges and stuff to fairly hold people accountable. So I think, Reiner should have been held accountable. The military of Marley should have been held accountable, especially the people making the decisions. But just killing everyone, you decided to just... Now, Eren should be held accountable. And that's the clapback I mean. It's not going to be... I want them to be held accountable. I mean, Eren knows that he said, "Oh, I'm just like you," and in his mind, he knows he's the bad guy. But that doesn't change the fact. I know I'm doing bad things, but I'll do them anyway. That makes me more angry because you can't even say that you were you can't even lie for 5 minutes. You knew and you did it anyway, but the thing is, people generally know. People generally know and they do things anyway. But yeah, despite if he knows, then he must be held accountable, and I hope to see that before the end of the show. And no, I don't mean like, oh, he murdered innocent people and now I want to see more innocent people murdered because that will be... No, that's not holding Eren accountable. Just like I wanted to see... Remember, I was always mad at Reiner and then I saw him regret, feel sad, feel pain about his decisions and admitting that it was a decision, blah, 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 blah. I want Eren to regret. I want him to acknowledge this was wrong. This is not how we're going to fix the world because the world's messed up. Yes, it's messed up. What they did to you guys was messed up. What the past people did to them was messed up. Like, it is all messed up. So let's stop messing up. Because I do think that they had other decisions or other options. And Armin is smart enough to have thought of better ones than just doing exactly what Bertolt and Reiner did to you and the people of Marley in the military. Whoever made those decisions chose to send children to do that. Anyway, but I don't know. I don't know what happened in those 2 years. I don't know. ED, amazing. Oh, I just wrote down that the ending song is amazing. So yeah, this episode is a... How is this episode a 9 and the last one's a 9.5? There was a lot of action in this episode. And as you can see here, episode 5 had the least amount of action, 10. Episode 6 had more action, 9.5. Episode 7 had even more action. This was mostly just action. And that had a 9 for me. And I think it's because, Attack on Titan is great at action, but I'm not here for the action. I'm really here for the story. And I think my score from 5 to 7 going 10, 9.5, 9, the only reason it's going down is because they're focusing more on action, and that's not personally why I'm watching Attack on Titan. But yeah. So a 9 I think is fair, 9 out of 10 for the episode. so far the season has been amazing. I can look here. We know it's going to be 16 episodes. So next time it will be halfway. So it's probably going to be a big episode next week. Equals average 9.29, 9.1, 10, 9.59. So the average score right now is a 9.2. So I'm just going to add that. Where's my Annie list? Right now I'm just going to add that as my halfway score, 9.2. I will, when something moves over from my watching to my completed list, it goes, I round it up or down. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it on a 9.2. Overall, the season has been very, very great. Yes, personally, I preferred the visuals before, but these visuals are by no means bad. They're just different, and I preferred the visuals from before. This top is so weird. It really feels... I keep feeling like it fell down. Fun, unnecessary random fact. This top I wore for my first reaction of season 3 part 2, I believe. So whenever I put this top on, I think of Attack on Titan. Anyway, a great episode, and I'm looking forward to more, but mostly in time for the story. I really want to know what went on in the time we didn't see these people. I want flashbacks. I hope we get them. I don't know if there's time for that, but only 8 episodes left. No, wait, 9. Wait, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 9 episodes left. How are they going to finish this whole story in 9 episodes? Impossible. I don't know. There must be a movie or something afterwards. Or a part 2. Hopefully a part 2 with 16 more episodes. Anyway, I don't know. But thank you guys for watching and listening to me. I will see you next time. Bye.